They're both gone. Okay. This study is being conducted by Gail Richard, a graduate student in the Department of Rhetoric and Writing at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, in order to preserve the oral history of a veteran's experience in World War II, and he also marched in the Bataan Death March. And this happens to be my Uncle Eddie. So can you tell us where you were born? When and where? Your birth date and where?
September 5th, 1917, in Wagon Mountain, New Mexico.
Okay. And what did your mother and your father do?
Well, my mother never did work. She just, my dad had a ranch.
Okay. And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
Well, let me see. One, two, three, 4, 5. 5 brothers. 5 brothers and how many sisters? 1, 2, 3. The ones that died when they were baby, they were cut down too.
Yeah.
Then it would be 6 brothers and 5 sisters.
Okay. And what were you doing before you entered the service?
Well, I was, let me see what I was doing. That's a long time ago.
You don't remember when? Well, let's start with when did you go into the service?
Well, in March the 21st, 1941.
And were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted.
Okay. And what branch of the service were you in?
200 Coast Artillery and Aircraft, Army.
Okay. And did you, so when you entered the service, then you went to a training camp, right?
Yes.
And how many days of training? Do you remember?
We wasn't training for about 3 months.
Really? And then where did you go?
Where was I on the training?
After the training.
Oh, after training we went to the Philippines.
You went to the Philippines?
Philippine Islands.
And so how did you get there?
By ship.
Oh, you got there by ship?
Yes.
And was it comfortable? Was the ship comfortable?
Well, not really, because I couldn't eat. I throw off all the time.
Oh, really? You got motion sickness? Huh. And when you got over to the Philippines, can you tell me what happened there?
Well, on our way first...
When you landed, and yeah.
We landed on the one day and stay overnight in the Hawaiian Islands.
Oh.
And then the next day we started to the Philippine Island.
Okay.
And then we landed up there and got our guns up and put them up, went to Clarkfield. We was guarding the Clarkfield.
Oh, you were guarding Clarkfield?
Yes.
Why were you guarding it?
Well, we had the big guns. See, we was guarding it so so we can get the bombers, but we didn't get them.
You didn't get them?
We didn't have orders to shoot. We couldn't shoot.
Oh. And you told me a little bit about your experience with them. They were flying over and you could see them? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, they were flying over real low. We could have got them if we had no had orders to shoot, but But we did shoot with the rifle after the heavy bombers went by. When the dive bombers came after, we shoot at the dive bombers with a regular rifle.
And these were the Japanese dive
That's the
bombers?
Japanese.
Okay. And so then what happened after that?
Well, since there was two airports there in the Philippine Island, one was Nicholsville and the other one was Clarkfield. Clarkfield was in Manila and Nicholsville was way up north on the island, or at the middle of the island. And so they split our regiment. We had four big guns, 3-inch guns, and they split our regiment in half. They send they send half of it to Manila, to Nicholsville, and I went on that, which they call it the 515 anti-aircraft.
Okay.
And the other one stayed there till the terrorists surrounded.
And they told you to surrender?
Yeah, well.
Who told you to?
Well, from I don't know, from Americans. They got the word. We had General Wainwright, General MacArthur left General Wainwright in charge, and General King.
Okay.
But General MacArthur took off.
So
he was an important man, But they could fly off. We could, but all our planes were. The first day they were knocked down, all of them.
By the Japanese.
By the Japanese. Our planes in the morning, because we already heard that Hawaiian was bombed early in the morning, and then all our planes was in manure all morning, and they come down for lunch, and when they come down, here comes the Japanese bombers. There was 54 of them, and bombed all our planes. They said that there was a Japanese spy working on the kitchen on the airport.
So what happened after that?
After that, they split our regiment, and we traveled all night. It was already night. We traveled all night to Manila.
How did you travel? How did you travel?
With our trucks.
Okay.
We had trucks. We all went. There was about around 250, because we was all to 470, 2,000, let me forget. Our regiment was 2,700 men, and they split it in half. They sent half to Nicholsville, which is right next to Manila. So I went on that, and they call it Regiment 515. Instead, that they still call 200 this one, but the one that is split, they call it 515, 200 Coast Artillery.
Okay. And then what did you do when you got there?
We set up our guns and got ready to, in case they come, and to bomb, got ready to shoot. But we only stayed there about a little over 3 months, and they were about to take Manila over the Japanese, Actually, they didn't have to take, Luzon Island is a bigger island, but there's a lot of Philippine islands, around it. They had all of them already. They didn't have to get, but they tried to get Luzon Island, and the Philippine Army, which is the what they call it, I don't know how I call it, infantry. The infantry, Filipinos, won't take any prisoner Japanese, so they killed a lot of them. They killed a lot of them trying to come in, see, they're in Manila. But they tell us to back up from Manila, back up from from Manila, and we went clear around Corregidor, and we went clear out to the peninsula. So we was clear down there. We had the picture there. They surrounded, but I don't know. I guess Don got it.
Okay.
And when they told us to surrender, we piled all our guns and the stuff we had, rifles and trucks, and blow them up, you know. Had just a boom out of them.
You
Got
blew
rid
them
of
up.
so they didn't get him, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So we was just ourselves then,
Wow.
and we started this march where I started on our regiment. They start from the very beginning.
Oh, so you were at the beginning.
Yeah, on the beginning, and the rest of them start coming down, you know, from outside, joining in the death march.
And so what was the first day of the death march like? What did you do on the first day? What did they do?
We just walk. We just
Walk?
walk on the march, yeah. We just walk. They had Japanese guards, and we walked. There was a Japanese guard every so often, you know.
Did
Army guys.
Did they take anything from you?
Yeah, they take like billboard and watches and all that, everything that
was valuable?
everything that was valuable.
What
I did save my rosary. So,
you did?
yeah, I kept the rosary.
How did you get to keep your rosary? Did they see
They
it?
didn't take it. They didn't take it. They couldn't take it, but they didn't take it. I had the rosary.
Do you still have your rosary?
No, I don't have it anymore. It got wore out.
Oh, it got wore
Yeah.
out? Hmm.
Now I'm making rosaries. I make rosaries all the time
Mm-hmm.
and give them away.
Yeah.
My wife used to make rosaries
Mm-hmm.
and take them to the Altar Society, religious articles, see, and they sell them there.
Mm-hmm.
I have taken a few up there, and they sell them, you know. But I give roses to anybody that asks for it.
Hmm.
Make some.
So, as you marched in this march, what happened through the next few days? Where were you marching? Through the jungle?
Well, yeah. Marched to the camp, all walking, and me and an officer.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Japanese with a little buggy, a one-horse buggy, you know, and got a ride with him. He gave us and we rode a while till the
Really?
Japanese seen us. When they seen us, they got us off. And what they did, they put a red ribbon on us here on the side, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got up there, the first day when we got up there to rest at night, it was already dark. It was supposed to be resting there overnight and then have to sleep on the ground, you know. And there was, where I stopped, there was about, I don't know, 35, 40 or 50 maybe. They had the red ribbon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole bunch was about, half a block away, you know, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only, and up there was a lot of men, a lot of soldiers. See? So when the Japanese wasn't looking, I didn't think it would look very good with the red ribbon, so I threw my red ribbon away and dashed up there where everybody was. I don't know what happened to they asked me that a lot of times, what happened to the other one, the one that got Never did see him again. So I don't know what happened.
Gosh. Well, maybe you were the lucky one to get
Yeah.
away. Huh. So then when you joined the others, then what happened the next day?
The next day they got us up and they gave us a little bit of ride there that time. And the next day
How
we
much
got...
was a little bit of rice? Like how much?
well, it was a cup, like a cup, small cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they eat we got on that death march. And then the next day, they got us up and started marching up there to the regular camp, Camp O'Donnell's.
And did you have water?
No, we tried to get water one time. And we got off and get water. There was a pot there, like a, what do they call it? Not a lake, but a small...
A well?
No, not a well.
Pond?
A body of water, like a lake, but a smaller.
Okay.
What do they call it?
A puddle?
A puddle, yeah. Yeah, a puddle. We tried to get water there, and we got water, and the Japanese must have taken a bath there and taste salt, so we didn't get any.
Gosh.
We didn't have any water, so we couldn't drink that. They must have took a bath there. So.
How long did the march take?
Oh, I think it to probably 2.5 days.
2.5 days. I thought it took 6 days.
No, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 days. I can't remember exactly, but maybe 3 days, I say. And they said that when we got to the main camp, there's at the entrance of the camp, there's a big ark, And they said they had a American head hanging there on the middle.
Really? When you went into the camp?
When you went in the camp. Right on the entrance, they had a big ark,
Mm-hmm. And so, I guess that was pretty scary, seeing that.
Yeah.
And what was it? So when you got to the camp, what did you do there?
Well, we had barracks there, so we sleep on the barracks.
Mm-hmm.
But during the day, they had us work on the farm. And they take, every day they take maybe 50 or 60 men, 30, or I don't know how many, for the details outside in the island somewhere, to do some work. But I never did get to go out. We work on a farm, them trying to grow some vegetables, stuff like that. And it was a dry season. We had to get some water from a little creek and water the plants. But it wasn't enough water to grow anything. We didn't grow anything. And I just stayed about a year and a half there.
And what did you have? What did you have to eat?
To do?
To eat.
Oh, to eat, we had rice, and then we have a little, like a little loaf of bread, but a small one, like you get a sandwich at Burger King or something like that. A cup of rice and water we had there in the Philippines. And then at noon we had that bread. That was our dinner. Bread alone. Water, of course. In the evening we had some vegetable soup and a cup of rice. And that was it. Mm-hmm. In the Philippines we get a little more to eat than when I got transferred to Japan.
So when did you get transferred to Japan?
Oh, I don't know exactly the date, but I stayed in the Philippines a year and a half, and then I got when I went to Japan, I stayed 2 years up there till the war
And
ended.
so how did you get to Japan?
In a ship.
In a
too.
ship?
Yeah.
So what was it like riding on that ship?
How was what?
How was the ride?
It was all right, but not for me or some other guy, you know.
Yeah.
You get sick,
Yeah.
seasick.
So were you able to sit down, or were you standing up?
And no, we sit down and stand up and lay down on our bunks. But I don't eat it. I didn't eat all the way up there. I couldn't eat anything because I just throw it up.
Yeah. How many days were you on the ship?
Oh, 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. From the Philippine Islands, it's a lot farther from the Hawaiian Islands to the Philippines than from the Philippines to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We went, but the sea, and the Japanese sea or Chinese sea they call it, is pretty rough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the boat going in on the
Right.
water with the waves and out and in and out.
Mm-hmm. And let's go back to the Bataan Death March. How did it affect the other men?
How did it affect the other man?
Yes, and you.
Well, actually, we didn't have any medicine, you know, to take, and everybody got sick with the diet we got and the small diet we got. And most of the people were sick all the time, you know. And when we were there on the camp, there was I don't know how many. There was a lot of them, men, American men. I seen sometimes they turn the water on and on a faucet, you know, and we get the water on the faucet. If you was lucky enough to get there before they turn it off, see. One day I remember, I was happy because we get our canteen full of water, you know. I said I was happy because I got to the water. This guy was getting his canteen filled, and I was the next. And when this guy filled up his canteen, I get mine. They shut it off. I didn't get water that day.
So there wasn't enough water for
There
everyone.
wasn't enough water either. See, till the next day they turn it on again. See, for so long. The next day I got water.
So when you had water, did any of the other people ask you for water?
Well, some of them have water all the time. Others, if you was lucky enough to get when they turn it on, if you wasn't unlucky, you didn't get any. But there was about 4 or 5 people died there in the Philippines every day, you know.
4 or
Started
5
getting
died
sick.
every day?
Every day, yeah. And the ones that died, see, the doctor's car died, so they take it to another barrack, to a separate barrack that was empty, you know. The ones that died today, they take it up there and they hold it one day, and the next day they take them to the burial detail. And when they take them to the burial detail, out there where they have the burial detail, they make a hole about 4 or 5 feet wide and then 4 or 5 feet deep and about 8 feet long, and they throw the 5 men one on top of there and then cover them up on the same hole. All of them, they just throw them in there. Yeah, that was in the Philippines. They were dying every day. They were dying 4, 5, 6.
And they were dying.
And they're dying. When they die today, they put it like a mortuary,
Yeah.
on that barrack that the doctor declared dead.
Yeah.
They put him up there. And one time this guy died. He was an Indian from Gallup.
Mm-hmm.
And they put him up there, stayed till the next day and take him to the burial detail. And before you throw him in there, you set him on the side, on that dirt pile,
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, they said, I wasn't there, but that time, he sit up after he'd been there a couple of days. He sit up and he came back.
Really?
He was an Indian from Gallup, New Mexico.
And so he was okay then?
They would take him back to the camp.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is.
So did you make friends while you were in the camp?
Oh, yeah. Well, there were a lot of them that was on our outfit, And some other ones too, a lot of them that we didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
But we had friends, close friends, the ones we was on the 200 Coast Artillery,
Mm-hmm.
We've been there since I went in. They've been in there for a year because they was on the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a guy here that called me the other day that used to be on the National Guard up there, but when they drafted the National Guard to the regular army, they gave him a choice to get out if they wanted. So this guy got out, and he called me the other day when he seen that paper,
Yeah.
and that advanced aging.
Mm-hmm.
He called me. I talked to him, but I don't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
But he lives here.
Mm-hmm.
He says he was on the National Guard, but he got out at that time because they gave him a chance to get out or stay.
Mm-hmm. When you were taken on the death march, were there Filipinos in that march also?
Yeah, Filipinos too.
And so they went to the camps also?
Yeah, but they separated the Filipinos
Oh, they
to
did?
another camp. Yeah, there was I remember there was 3 camps that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if there were any more. I mean,
when you went to Japan, were you in a camp?
when I went to Japan, I went. There was about 300 of us went from there that time, and we went to a camp that they work on a steel mill. These guys were there. There was about 25 or 30 guys there, Americans, that they got caught on the Wake Island, Mid Island. They were caught since the second day of war. They've been there, and we joined there. See, and we used to work on the steel mill. Walk about a mile and a half, and the evening walk back to the camp.
And were you fed well?
Was I what?
Was there enough food or?
No, it got a little worse when in Japan. In Japan, we got a cup of rice. Well, and it was all rice. In the Philippine island was all rice. We got a cup of all rice. And in Japan, we got half rice and half barley, 1 cup. In the morning, we get 1 cup of half rice and half barley, and tea. In the evening, at noon, we just get a little loaf of bread. That's it. And at night, we get a cup of rice mixed with barley and vegetable soup. That was it.
So.
It's a wonder that we lived through that. A lot of them didn't. Well, you've seen some of the pictures, how they look.
So everybody lost a lot of
Oh,
weight.
yeah. Everybody was skinny.
And some of them died?
Oh, a lot of them died.
from starvation?
On starvation. Well, on the Philippines, like I said, there was 4 of our 6 died every day, you know. But in Japan, where we went to Japan, we was already probably adjusted to the food, you know, little that we get. So I don't remember anybody on the camp I was in. Of course, there was quite a few camps. Someone worked on coal mines and stuff like that. We work on a steel mill, and nobody on our camp died when we was in the Japanese.
When you were in Japan, what were the Japanese guards like? How did they treat you?
Not very good. We had about 5 or 6 guards. I don't remember. Been so long, you know. 5 or 6 guards, but there was only one good one that treated us nice, you know. The other one were bad.
How were they bad?
Well, they hit you. They be mean to you and everything. They treat you bad all the time. That was the soldiers. But when we went to work, we work under the civilian. We had what they call it, a hancho up there is a boss, you know. There was details here and there, you know, different parts because the steel mill was pretty big. So where I was, there was about 12 of us working together, and the guard take us up there and turn us into a civilian, and that civilian was pretty nice. He wasn't a soldier.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, how did the other men like working? Were you happy to be? Did you feel like you got treated better when you went to Japan than at the camp?
Then at the Philippines?
Yes.
Well, about the same, I say. About the same. The only thing is that during the day we work with the civilians, and the civilians were better than the soldiers. At the camp, we just had the soldiers. See? We didn't have any civilians.
Okay. So, and I guess, did you say that there were people getting very sick with other sicknesses?
Yeah, in the Philippines. But when we went to Japan, on the camp I was in, nobody died when I was there a couple of years.
Did you get sick when you were in the Philippines?
Oh, yeah, everybody got sick, but you just stay there. You just take it as you got sick and got over. I had malaria all the time I was in the Philippines.
Oh, gosh.
I have an attack every other day at the same time, 12:30. And it lasted. I like to get temperature real high, and then it turns into cold, real cold, and shaky, you know. And I last about 20 or half an hour, and then I was all right. Till the following day, the next day, I was all right. The following day, it hit at the same time. And when I went to Japan, I didn't have the malaria there.
Okay, let's break for a minute.